welcome to The Ripple Effect. I'm Jessica Osbrook, and this is Kim Graves. We're from Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Doing all right?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm excited because you know what week it is. It's a big week here in Howard County, Kim.
It's a huge week.
Yeah.
Huge week. We have a special guest.
That's right.
One of my favorites. It's Becky from We Care. Yay.
Everybody knows Becky.
Yay.
A few people do.
You're very popular.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah. Right now? You got it happening, sister.
I don't see it that way, but okay.
So much work. We're going to dive into We Care from start to where we are now because it's a really big, interesting, and wonderful story that started here in Kokomo that is a massive tradition for so many families. So let's start at the beginning.
Right.
Tell us about We Care.
Okay. We Care started 52 years ago. Dick Bronson got a call. He was a DJ on the radio, and he got a call from a laid-off Chrysler worker who could not provide Christmas for his children, was wanting to know what to do. Dick had $40 in his billfold. He donated that $20 toward it. By the end of that time, they had $1,000 donated to help with that family plus others. And that's how it evolved. Then they went on to say, well, let's do like people could give us things and we could sell them, but it was on the radio. So when they had an item, they looked at it, they described it the best they could. You did not see it and you bid on it. Some people got things that they thought they were getting, and some people got things they had no idea they were getting. We had a gentleman pull up with a big truck and a trailer because he had bought a John Deere, and he come to pick it up and he paid for it. And when we walked out with the John Deere that wasn't any bigger than this piece of paper and put it on the table, he was overwhelmed because he was anticipating a
tractor.
Yeah.
Not a miniature. But there again, it was on the radio. You had no idea. What you got is what you got. He was very gracious, very kind, and we've all had the good laugh about it. That's really good.
So, and then it transitioned. Now we can see what we're bidding on.
Right.
It transitioned, and I'm going to look at some notes real quick. It transitioned to having us on air, and I have to look, in 1982. Telecable came along.
Oh, wow,
and
1982.
They offered, it was worth $9,400. So they offered to do a 47-hour telethon in 82. There was Telecable of Kokomo, and that was the value of what they offered us, and that was their donation to We Care. That's how we started out. Like I said, they started out with like a 7-hour, then they moved it up, and the problem was you have people calling in to want to bid on the things they're talking about on the radio, but we only had maybe 5 operators if we had that many. Right now we have 12, and they are nonstop. They're turned off during the commercial break enough that they can call and come right back on and start bidding. It is old school, but it's the thing that has worked. We try to go with technology, but we also keep the original, the uniqueness of what we hear.
Right. I mean, because that's what it's been about.
Yeah,
That's right.
and also sometimes new technologies don't work when you are live on the air and just kind of flying with it. Sometimes you're like, oh,
Yes.
can you change the channel for a second? But don't do that and come back after I figured out what I'm saying there. So I think it works. You guys have a great system down.
Yeah.
And all your operators are volunteers.
Every
the whole
person.
entire weekend.
Yeah. Everybody in We Care. No one receives a salary. From all the board members, from the president, vice president, on down to treasurer and members of that, and every volunteer who walks in and does anything for We Care, they're all volunteers. No one receives funds for that. They donate their time. They donate their expertise, their effort, their love of this community and of their families, all to give back to others, because there are a lot of them that are volunteers that received at one time from We Care, and that's their way of giving back, is to volunteer and to do things for We Care. So it's like a family. When we get there on the weekend, it's like a family reunion. You're like, oh, I haven't seen you since last year. We only live 2 streets apart. But I still don't
Right,
time, because life's going on.
Yep.
You've got to work. You've got families and things. So that's always awesome to see everybody hugging each other and saying, I can't. And then the new people are like, this is so welcoming. We feel so appreciated. And that's all anybody wants, is to be appreciated for whatever you can give. Yeah. If it's drives and take something somewhere, or if it's just carry boxes somewhere, you feel like you're appreciated through We Care.
I don't know of any program, and I'm just being honest, I don't know of any program across the United States that has been set up to raise money for a county that turns around and gives it back to non-for-profits
In that county.
and in that county, and is spent on people in that county. I mean, to serve their community. This
Stays right here.
I mean, it's just amazing. And when you tell people how this works, they're beside themselves.
And
they're
how
just
much
like,
money you raise.
and how much money? I mean, you're thinking this Hope doll went for how much? It's amazing how big everybody's hearts are and what they're doing to make a difference in Howard County.
Yeah. And being you brought up the Hope doll, I did bring a little bit of history about the Hope doll.
Okay, I would love to hear this history because Kate have not known this.
The Hope doll, that was in 1982. And Jan was sorting through some boxes of donation stuff, and that doll fell out. And in the silence of that moment when that doll fell out, everyone knew that that doll was going to touch people. Just by seeing the tear on its cheek. And so they named her Hope. Well, the story behind that is that it's a special doll that a family had. And a mother had received that 18 years ago and had coveted and kept that doll for her family. And they decided to donate. And all they had was used dolls, used toys. And that doll, she felt like needed to go to the donations. So she sent it, and Jan found it, named it. And that's what we have stood on, was Hope brings the community together. Excuse me. Hope brings the fullness within each person that I can do something. I can do a little bit of part of helping with the community to give to others, to even just fulfill a need I may have. There are many people that come and volunteer that are struggling, and maybe emotionally, maybe in finances.
Oh, and this holidays are hard
They
for people
still
too.
come because that fulfills a part in them that they can give, even if it's just footwork. It's just manual labor of doing something. It makes them feel good. It makes people feel good when they donate, and that's what this family was doing, was donating, and that's how we come up with the Hope doll.
So every year somebody buys the Hope doll and it stays with them for the entire year?
It does. Last year we had a gentleman who is in Florida, did not bring his name, so couldn't say it, but he purchased it, and then it went to a Trent Auto Sales here in Kokomo, and so they have it displayed so that people can see that. So
That's great.
And that was a good thing.
Yeah.
He's involved. So he is either, I can't remember when I'm reading all of the information I had before me, if he has been from Kokomo and moved there or has family here, but somehow there's ties there.
Oh, it must be pretty special because usually it's a pretty big donation.
And this is his second year that he's done that. So
Matchup, I believe was his last name.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that idea. And just the different variety of the things that people donate. And then it's like the stories. I love the kids turning into adults. And then I think that we were at the tree auction a couple of weeks ago, and I was reading this story about a young lady who makes and sells, I believe, bracelets. Is that right?
Yes.
Because Mr. Warren Sims knew she wanted a tree a few years ago, so he purchased it for her. I think they strangers.
Yes.
I don't think they knew each other.
They didn't at the
So now she is raising money for We Care. What a great story. I love it so much.
The mall is accommodating, allowing her to have a place to set up to sell those.
To sell the bracelets.
Money. Because before it was like word of mouth, and she would go, I think Warren even had them at the pizza place where they could sell. But this made a bigger impact because she was able to sell them. She was set up, and people could support her because she wants to buy trees to give to those that are in need too.
Speaking of the tree auction, it was a great success.
And also, it's so fun. It's so fun to decorate a tree for other people to use, and the variety of trees that people use or decorate. What a great event.
Yeah.
And it raises thousands and thousands of dollars. And that kind of kicks off the We Care fundraising campaign.
It does. That is our beginning of letting people know that We Care is back and it's time to start thinking and gearing up for We Care. We're allowed to open our store. We used to have it in the mall, but now we just use our facility there on 31 at the old Alder building, and we have our store open. We do better sales there. It makes a destination that you have to go to it, but it works out much better. We have a variety. We can show a lot more than what we have, where if we have a small space in the mall, it wasn't room enough to show everything that we have.
Well, and you mentioned earlier that this is run by volunteers.
Right.
So there are some times, and especially if you have that fantastic building, it makes sense to have it there because the volunteers are already there.
Yes.
And, you're not spread so thin. I think it's a great choice and a great plan.
Yeah. And then we make the cheese balls prior to opening.
Okay. Speaking of them cheese balls,
Here's a little cranky shouldn't have one.
Delicious. I'm just saying everybody needs to get 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them.
Absolutely.
You say we make the cheese balls. Who is we?
We is volunteers.
The cheese ball girls.
It used to be a sorority. We got down to 3 people in the sorority. It became harder. They decided to give us the funds that they had raised and had for product and things. So we started as just volunteers saying, okay, we'll figure out how to do this. So we went to different churches and did it. But now we are accommodated at our building in being able to do the cheese balls in-house and keep them right there and have them available for the public.
How many do you make?
Well, this time we were making 700 beef, cheese, and chive in one day.
Amazing.
And I think we might have had 6 volunteers that did that. But they done it quite a few times, so they have a good
Pros.
way to do it, and they made the beef, cheese, and chive is always the one that's, through this tree festival.
Yeah.
Then we will have all the different kinds, and that will be during the telethon.
You can tell me, it's just us girls. How hard is it to not put your finger in there while you're making those cheese balls? I would be like...
They're not doing that. Let me be very clear.
I'm sorry.
Nobody's dipping their little fingers into the cheese balls.
Okay.
Unless you bought it.
I wouldn't... Yeah, I would be doing that. So don't buy a cheese ball from me.
And it's cheese balls, and then there are other We Care themed items in the store, too.
Shirts and... You have all kinds of different items.
I didn't wear one of the shirts that we have
Look at this shirt.
This is
Great.
a cool shirt. I love it because it's not Christmassy, it's not holiday. I can wear it whenever it's chilly. I can just put this sweatshirt on. But we had the new, it's like a tie-dyed. We have sweatshirts and T-shirts this year. And we have them in purple, pink, green, and blue. And they are absolutely gorgeous. And we've had to keep ordering more because we had people lined up when we first opened to start buying them. So, yeah, it's a lot.
You know what? Not only do you guys have the store, you had the tree auction, you have the hearts.
Oh, yeah, the hearts.
The hearts. And then you have the auction coming up,
Yep.
the telethon. And do you have other things earlier in the year that you are doing to help?
Besides planning.
Right now, we don't.
I know you used to, but I didn't know.
Yeah, used to, they had quite a few different events. We don't right now. It's just we are trying to accommodate where we can get our building, where we can allow other events to happen.
Okay.
It's just a process of going through and I know we've been in the building for a while, but everything takes
Volunteers.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't Becky's job. She volunteers.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, if somebody wants to volunteer this coming weekend, where should they go?
They can go to our Facebook page, which is We Care Kokomo. And if you look, you'll find where there is a volunteer form.
Or you can just show up. Can we show up?
You can also come in the store when we're open, and you can fill out a form, and we will take it, and we will also post it so that all of the department heads will see it. If they're needing people, they'll be able to glean in the new people.
That's great. That's really great. And I know that we are officially accepting donations. We opened for donations on the 29th, is that right? And you are now accepting until when?
Until December the 8th. at noon.
So this Sunday at noon,
Yeah.
right as we get ready to wrap up the We Care auction. Yeah.
Auctioning off the dog.
That's right.
And the Bronson
And
Memorial
and the crystal.
and the Waterford Crystal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is amazing to me. People really donate some special items. I mean, that yellow rocking chair.
Yes,
I was so
that was
excited about that.
amazing.
It was.
We should buy that and put it in your front yard.
Well, it's already been bought. And
Sorry.
it's sold and it's already set up. So, but it was a great story how the lady had. She was going to get a new rocker. They'd had that one for quite a while, and somebody came, and a lot of people would stop there and get in it or stand in front of it and take pictures. And this person said, "I think you should donate that to We Care," and that's how that happened. And she ended up coming to us and saying she wanted to donate it. That's awesome. So it's amazing because We Care is always on a lot of people's minds, and sometimes people don't think, but they're not, oh, well, what about We Care for this or that? So that's important.
Now, are you looking for any donated items in particular? Any different? I mean, just good quality, right?
Yeah, on our Facebook page, we do have a list of things we do not take.
Okay.
We don't take pianos or anything.
Sure.
We stopped having a pickup crew. We used to have a pickup crew, and they would drive to Tipton, to all places, and it was someone volunteer with their truck. And then we had to provide the gas. So it just became, it was harder to do. So now we have the donations brought to us. Our biggest problem is the building's big, but we still have all those departments that have to be set up, and now we can leave them up year round.
Oh, yeah.
Where at the radio station, at the end of the telethon, it was Monday was business for WWKI, so we had to put them back whole. Everything had to be put back by Monday, and you've already worked a 48-hour shift
At least.
of doing the
Right.
telethon. So it's like you're weary, you're tired, but you know this is your responsibility, and to respect them, you need to put everything. So now we don't have to do that. We can come in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or another week later and try and do clean up, set up, throw away the things that we don't need, where before we had just a window of time.
Now, last year, and this is very common, I think you raised, what, over $400,000? That is incredible. In 48 hours. 48 hours.
Yep.
And
Amazing.
the funds go where?
The funds go to, and I've got them wrote down because I know I will say them.
I know Kim knows one of them.
We give to the Goodfellows, which Kim is involved
Thank you very much. Do you want me to give you a hug right now?
with. We'll hug her.
Thank you.
It
Okay.
helps you guys so much.
So much. So much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We're thrilled to be able to support them, and we've even added a couple of agencies over the years to be able to support them too. So we also give to the Kokomo Rescue Mission. We give to Kokomo Urban Outreach, the Mental Health America Wabash Valley Region. We give to the Salvation Army and to Bonavista. And right now I have figures of what we get. Last year we raised $467,060. That was the telethon, and that also was the trees. And it also included our online auction that we do after the telethon. We do a cleanup auction. We used to do them live. At this time, we are not at the ability to do that, but we are looking into it. But the online auction provides quite a bit of money. It also gives people a chance to be involved, and it gives us a bigger audience when we're online. And so we give $112,000 to Goodfellows. We give $112,000 to Goodfellows, $112,000 to Kokomo Rescue Mission. We gave $12,000 to Kokomo Urban Outreach. We gave $20,000 to Mental Health Association, and we gave $112,000 to the Salvation Army, and then we give $90,000 to Bonavista for them to help with We Care.
Oh, that's incredible. It really is. Those donations, it always blows my mind, just the amount of money that people give. And we mentioned a story earlier about the young lady who was introduced to We Care, but you watch the telethon and you hear names of incredibly generous people in our community who give, business owners who give and donate items and buy items. It's super special. It really is.
Yeah, we have one gentleman who has a business, and we get the cinnamon rolls in that are notoriously been every year.
They're awesome too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have boxes of them. Of course, the volunteers get some, and then we put some on the auction. And this gentleman usually always buys a box of them and then calls me, pays for them, and has me give those back to the volunteers. So it's really just to support We Care. It's not because he wants those cinnamon rolls. It's to support We Care and to recognize those volunteers that are there that are helping this.
I would like to buy those cinnamon rolls.
I would,
Yeah.
and I would sit with you with a fork and eat all of those.
And we have Angie who
Yeah.
makes her dad's pecan rolls, right?
yeah.
Who she makes him in
Yeah.
his
And
honor.
That's the rolls I'm talking about.
Oh my
the palm
gosh.
rolls, yes.
Yeah.
Angie
It's
makes
like the
it.
best thing I've ever
It's
tasted.
kind of like the tree with the auction with the trees. I mean, somebody will buy a tree and then turn around and donate it back, and then you're raising that money again. And then, I mean, it's just an ongoing giving.
And sometimes that
I mean,
happens
it's-
where it's like purchased at a very good price, it's donated back, it's purchased again, very good price, and then it's given to a family who
Right,
needs it.
right.
So it's their way of supporting We Care, but also supporting those that are in need. And that's what it's all about.
It's just amazing. I mean, you think that it only happens this time of year, but it's all year round. And that's what makes Howard County so special.
Well, to raise that amount of money, you have to be working all year round. And like we've mentioned, it's a full team of volunteers who put this on. So if you want to volunteer, you can reach out to the folks with We Care on the Facebook page. If you'd like to make an actual physical donation for the telethon, Becky, how would we do that?
If you want to make a donation, you can come into the store and we will take donations. We also, during the telethon, will be selling bid lots.
That's
Where
right.
you can sponsor a bid lot, you can sponsor a continuous lot, which is the bigger items. It goes for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. The others are just a few minutes, but it can be a memory. It can just be someone who wants to support. I did not write down those prices, but if you go into the store, Jackie, who runs the store, will be glad to help you in being able to fulfill the paperwork that you need to do to have that. And we sell out of those very, very quickly
I believe
because
it.
there's a lot of people that do it every year in memory of a certain family member or just their family in general.
And then while you're there, pick up some doodah stuff
Yeah.
or a cheese ball.
And cheese balls.
Yeah.
Gouda
Yeah.
cheese balls.
And dips. We have new dips.
Oh, yeah, and pick up some dips. Just load up a bag.
We added a lot more dips this year.
Did you?
We already
Yeah, people love the dips.
lots more flavors. Yes.
I'm getting hungry.
We Care Week. We are so excited. The We Care Telethon kicks off this Friday, Becky, at what time?
It's 6 o'clock.
6 p.m. And we can listen to it on 100.5 WWKI. And where do we watch it?
You can watch it on Channel 2, KGov. The
Oh, it's on
government-
KGUP. That's great.
Yes. The mayor and the community here has supported us through Comcast to allow us to have that. So we put it on KGov.
That's pretty great. Now, is there anybody you'd like to thank? Because I know you work so hard to help make sure that this runs like a well-oiled machine, but I imagine you have a good team that helps you with this.
There's a lot of people. We have department heads, and they coordinate their volunteers for each department, and each department works hand in hand because when the items are brought in, we used to do them in a tent, which you don't anymore, which I was laughing because earlier I had read the story and I remembered about we had live chickens that were donated and they had put them out.
Seriously?
Well, we used to take live
Yeah.
animals and
Yeah.
they had put the chickens
Makes
out there.
sense.
It's very cold, and by the time they thought about to put them on, they were frozen. So yes.
Oh.
So we don't receive live animals anymore. You can take pictures and you can bring the information and we will sell
Okay. Yeah.
or whatever you have, but we will not take live animals either. So
Yeah.
that
makes sense.
Yeah, that was one
So we're kicking off the telethon 6 p.m. this Friday. It wraps up at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Is that right?
Yes.
And that's when we do the big
Hope doll.
Yep, Hope Doll auction
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
really add to that total for sure.
And then the next Wednesday after that, which I want to say is the 17th, and there again, I didn't look that up. I was so busy yesterday. I was trying to put my notes.
Do you have something big going on this week, Becky? Is it a big week for, you're so busy with We Care, so I can't believe you forgot that.
Well, I was trying, but there were some things I couldn't get.
You're a
But
busy
we
lady.
do check presentation, and so then that's the day that we do the check presentation. We get
Big
the
day,
checks.
big
Yes,
day.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's a lot of money.
And it makes us feel comfort, and we succeeded in doing what we planned on doing, and appreciative of the community continually supporting what we do, because we do that only because the community supports it, loves it, and we all have a compassion about the people that we serve, the people that we are giving to. It's important to keep that in mind. So when we take a sigh of relief after we give those checks away, it's like we immediately are starting like, okay, now next year, what can and who do we talk to about this? So we're always planning, we're always evolving, because the world evolves.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to stay with it.
That's quite a legacy that you guys, that you all have built and kept and raising money at this level. It's
kept
very
it going.
special. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But it
incredible.
all started with Dick, Jan, and Charlie, with Dick Bronson, Jan Bueller, and Charlie Cropper. They were the ones that started it. They did it for years before their passing, and they started the legacy. And so
It's amazing that it's still going.
Yes. Yeah. And I think a lot of that had to do with the people that they had that volunteered under them, that evolved into that compassion that they felt. And so they carry that compassion. I know that's what people
Carrying
tell me
it
all the
alive,
time.
yeah.
Just say, we care, and you're compassionate, and you don't stop talking. I'm like, I'm so, because no matter
You're
where
in
I
good
go,
company.
somebody says we care, I just start talking. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a shameless plug because I don't know why, but they let me do some hosting on We Care, and Nick Livingston and I are going to be on the overnights coming up Saturday night. So midnight to 6 a.m. Saturday going into Sunday.
Yeah.
I said, do I have to be on my best behavior? And he said, well, just go, within reason. But it's the overnights. We can have a little fun. It is so fun.
Now I leave my TV. Actually, I'll leave 2 TVs on, and so it'll be playing 24 hours. It goes on for the whole entire weekend. I mean, I start at Friday, and then it does not stop.
Boy,
so.
maybe we could talk them into letting us host it together. I don't know. I'm not sure that's a thing.
We may be drawing in so much money. I don't know what would happen. It'll be a record-breaking year if it's just me and Jess. You know what I'm saying? Or I may get kicked off. It could be a toss.
We haven't kicked out of here yet. So.
You won't.
Becky, thank you so much for the time today. We know you have a crazy busy week. The We Care annual telethon kicks off this Friday. What time again?
6 p.m.
We can watch it on KGov, and we can also listen to it on WWKI. Is that right?
Absolutely.
All right. Here's to another great year. Do we play the goal every year?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no. we
Nope,
don't have
no
a goal.
goal.
Whatever the community wants to support us, we are blessed by.
Yeah, I'm definitely blessed.
Amen. I appreciate that.
I have a real quick little something I wanted to read out of a We Care poem.
Let's do it.
A We Care poem was wrote in 1977, and today this verse stands important to us. Christmas has a special meaning, a special gift we share, the generosity of others in what we call We Care.
I love that.
I just wanted to close with that.
And it's just like these traditions. Somebody wrote a poem about it. It's really amazing.
There's songs about it. There was a song, a We Care song that's wrote. Yes. In fact, we play it in the store on a CD.
I've heard it performed before, too, by very talented people.
Yes.
Becky, have a great week. Have a great telethon. We can't wait to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Appreciate it.
And thank you all so much for watching The Ripple Effect with us. I'm Jessica Osberg. This is Kim Graves. We're from Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union. Thanks for watching.